So we got the first liner, rod, and piston back in the motor on Dad's bus, but it's raining. And, the hatch up there just keeps leaking on me, like pretty bad. So Dad decides he's going to try to lower it down, and apparently it's full of water right now because it soaked me. So this is fun. Nothing like getting rained on while laying on the ground. That one's a new one we just put in. All the other ones are out, so now we can go inside and assemble all the other cylinder kits for it. Getting the pistons all assembled up. This one is number 5 of 6. We've got one more to go. We haven't pre-fit the liners on the rest of them yet, so I'm just assembling them, getting ready to go. So as soon as we pre-fit the liners, then we can just pack these and get them back in the motor. Once again, it's raining today, so there's not a whole lot we can get done, so just trying to get as much done as we can in the rain. Getting the pistons all assembled up. This one is number 5 of 6. We've got one more to go. We haven't pre-fit the liners on the rest of them yet, so I'm just assembling them, getting ready to go. So as soon as we pre-fit the liners, then we can just pack these and get them back in the motor. Once again, it's raining today, so there's not a whole lot we can get done, so just trying to get as much done as we can in the rain. I don't think I've ever gone over how to assemble one of these Detroit pistons before. This is a trunk style piston. So take the wrist pin, lube it up after you inspect the rod, put it in. And it just pushes through. Now we've got lube out on the outside here, so take your disc, get it set in there. I'm gonna get it in there straight so that these two edges aren't really sticking up. And there is a special tool that you sit in there like this, and then you take a hammer and strike it once and it should recess that. Alright, now that we've got it struck, it's recessed and it's got a little bit of a bend to it. So then take your vacuum pump. This is actually a special adapter from Detroit. Pump a vacuum on it and let it sit for about a minute and watch the vacuum. You really don't want to see it drop off. You will see a little bit of a drop when you first stop pumping as it equalizes through the system, but we're at about 14 inches of mercury right there. So after a minute, if we haven't moved, pop that off and flip it over and do the other side. These are holding back oil, because if you have oil leaking out around here, it's not going up through the tip of the rod through the piston squirter to cool the piston off. So you want to make sure that you have a good seal up here on both sides. When you're going to assemble these, put them down like this, take them over the outside edge. Usually just two-handed, but these oil rings here, the spring ones, you can get away with it. And then you want to make sure that, there it is, that they're not overlapped. So when you go to stack the rings, this raised side, go on just like this down, the silver one is the top one, and they just stack in this group. When you put them on though, you need to make sure that the end right there where they meet up doesn't lay over itself, because if it does, you'll break the oil rings when you go to load the piston into the liners. Now that we have the first ring on, you can see that they're not laid over each other, and I keep the gap away from here so that we have less of a chance of that working over on us as we're trying to put the other rings on. And these are the compression rings. The O's are always going to go towards the top of the piston, but you need to check them before you put them in. These are all squared ones. Sometimes there's a keystone looking ring. That is always going to be your top ring if you have that. Nothing special on putting these on. Just take your ring pliers, or if you're not going to use those, be really careful if you're rolling them on. And just stack all of them with the O's facing out and make sure that you clock the gaps on them. There we have it. All of the rods and pistons are assembled and ready to go. As soon as we get those liners fit up in the block, we can go ahead and pack the liners with these cylinder kits we just did today. And that engine's ready to go back together. Haven't heard back from the machine shop yet if the head's done, so we're waiting on them right now. Probably go pick that up today if we can.
Thank you. Bye.
Picked up a new hog ring anvil for Dad's impact.